As the snow melts away, we turn our attention to the threat of slippery hazards on roads and sidewalks. Team coverage is straight ahead.
This is WHSV News 3 at 10 on My Valley.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Mary Pulley. Well, let's head out to the roadways. We want to give you a live look at exit 227 in Verona. It looks like the wet roads are keeping folks in tonight. Just a little bit of traffic going on there. And be careful if you have to head out, but why not take a look at traffic before you leave? You can do so by logging on to our 24-hour traffic cameras at WHSV.com. As today's snow melts and temperatures drop, we're turning our attention now to slick road conditions. Meteorologist Josh Knight begins our team coverage from downtown Harrisonburg. Josh, how are the streets looking there?
Mary, right now the streets are looking okay, but that's because we're just getting to that freezing mark. But as we go overnight, we're expecting temperatures to really dip down. Let's take a look here at the roadways. What we're talking about is a really wet snow this afternoon. And with snow this wet, it doesn't have to get too cold for it to melt and then turn into ice. So that's what we're going to be watching as we go overnight. Looking at the satellite and radar, we're not expecting to see much more in the way of snow or rain. Things are going to be really drying out. With the drying out, the clouds pushing out as well gives us a chance for those temperatures really to drop down. We're looking at lows in the low 20s for the valley, and in the highlands we're expecting lows to be in the upper teens. So certainly going to be cold enough for any standing water to turn into ice. So just be aware of that as you're driving tonight and early tomorrow morning. We're still going to be below freezing around 10 o'clock in the morning. So the sunshine will be out there, but the black ice will be out there as well. So just be prepared for that as you're getting out there on the roads either tonight or tomorrow. Once again, just give yourself a little bit of extra time and be extra careful out there as well. Mary?
All right. Thanks a lot, Josh. Certainly some good advice. Well, here's what the Department of Transportation is reporting about the roadways right now. Interstates 81, 64, and 66 are still minor to clear, but they want you to watch out for slick spots, as Josh mentioned. Conditions on primary and secondary roads throughout the Shenandoah Valley are minor as well. But the Department of Transportation is urging you to be extra cautious when it comes to bridges, overpasses, and ramps. Well, the road isn't all that becomes hazardous when it's slick out. To continue our team coverage, we're joined by WHSV's Mackenzie Harris, who is also live in downtown Harrisonburg. Mackenzie, what other hazards should people be watching out for?
Mary, if you take a look at sidewalks and driveways around the valley, they're still pretty wet with the snow we got today. And as Josh said, temperatures are only going to continue to get colder overnight. A lot of local stores around Harrisonburg, like Lowe's, say they've seen a rush of customers today grabbing some last-minute items for the snow. The store set up winter weather displays yesterday, and they say some people came in last night, but most people actually waited until today when the snow actually fell and they needed the items. Lowe's says lots of folks are coming in and grabbing ice melt for their driveways and stairs, which they say with today's snow, it's a safety concern.
Yeah, and it's important to make sure you get the right kind of salt so that you don't damage your driveway. But yeah, so that especially with snow like today, it's really wet, so it'll melt and then refreeze at nighttime and form black ice. And so it's really important to get ice melt to make sure you're not, or just safety reasons, I guess.
And Lowe's says they actually sold more than 200 bags of ice melt today alone. Reporting live in downtown Harrisonburg, Mackenzie Harris, WHSV News 3.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. The weather is also behind a fatal car crash in Nelson County. It happened around 3 p.m. on Route 250 just east of Waynesboro. State police have confirmed that a man driving a pickup truck was killed. The driver of an SUV who was also involved in the crash was hospitalized. His condition is unknown. Authorities are still investigating the cause. And a Virginia state trooper responding to a crash on Afton was involved in a crash himself today. Police say the trooper lost control of his cruiser on Interstate 64 west of Afton Mountain. According to police, the trooper's car slid on a patch of ice before he lost control and flipped his car. He's currently hospitalized at Augusta Health. He had non-life-threatening injuries. The weather is also being blamed for a water main break in Stanton today. The water line ripped on Donaghy Street. It broke this afternoon after crews were doing some snow removal. They were out into the late hours trying to get it repaired, and about 4 homes on Selma Avenue had water damage in their garage and basements.
It was like the house was getting washed away. It was pretty bad, actually. Water coming down on both sides, and then our 2 windows in the shop and the rec room down here too.
Jeremy Bryant says his most noticeable damage is the carpet, and he says it's so difficult to deal with on the weekend because repair shops and insurance agencies are closed. Today's winter weather has led to some downed trees and lines throughout the valley. More than 500 Dominion Virginia Power customers lost power today. Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative was also working to restore about 1,000 customers. And as far as Harrisonburg Electric Commission, we are still waiting to hear if they had any customers without power as well. Let's take a look around the state. Snowy conditions didn't keep people and their pets inside. You could see joggers there, people walking their dog out in Roanoke. Temperatures fell to the 30s there, and they got only about an inch of snow, but outlying areas around Roanoke, such as Blacksburg, got up to 4 inches. And the snow in Fairfax had former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin thinking she was back home in Alaska. And crowds didn't let that snow keep them from attending a book signing there. Palin's parents and her husband Todd were also with her. Around 200 people turned out for an autographed copy of Palin's memoirs, Going Rogue.
Now, your First Alert Storm Team forecast.